Costs, and today I want to talk about technical debt. Now, this is a more complicated idea, so it's take a little bit longer to explain, but bear with me because it's worth it. Now, technical debt is basically where you have a system in your business that hasn't been maintained, hasn't been kept up to date, and because of that, it's now going to cost more to migrate it to a newer system. And this happens very easily in businesses, especially when it comes to software development. But in this case, we're talking about applications, and we're talking about day-to-day IT needs. So what we see is sometimes people have got 7, 8, 12-year-old computers, and they work, don't get me wrong, they work, but the problem with it is that you're spending the money that you could be spending on people's productivity, on their inefficiency, and giving people a slow computer will frustrate them and they will probably eventually leave. I've seen cases where people's mice don't work properly. I found a case recently where someone's keyboard was really, really difficult to type on, and they were quite a good touch typist, but they couldn't type any faster because the keyboard couldn't do it. It's like, but we could buy a new keyboard for like £8. Let's just do that, and that'll increase your efficiency. So this isn't about necessarily spending a ton of money on some new shiny system, but it's about planning ahead and making sure you've got systems in place that aren't antiquated. And we know that people are using antiquated systems because they don't have multi-factor authentication enabled. Micro businesses that still have a physical server that's 10 years old whirring away in the corner somewhere, which is crazy. That's costing a fortune to run, fortune to support. It's a massive security risk. Get this stuff into the cloud. It'll work out cheaper. So with this, it's a matter of having a plan and looking at what you're doing with your IT. So you need to audit what you've got. So do you have systems or equipment that's over 5 years old? That's a good place to start. Any software that was being bought over 5 years ago, any computer equipment whatsoever that's over 5 years, there should be a strategy and a time frame for replacing that, like in the past. And the problem is, if you don't sort it out, what will happen is something will break, like your 15-year-old network switch, and then no one can work for a day while a new one is purchased. So don't save money by building up technical debt, because you're going to have to pay that back, and it's more expensive in the future. And it's very tempting to do that because it goes, well, look, we don't need to buy a new computer. This computer works fine. Yes, but is it actually cost effective, or are you just spending money every month on somebody's time? So quite a lot to think about there. I hope that makes sense. Let me know what you think.